talk about Jamal Bowman, specifically the campaign that AIPAC is running against him. Early voting has already started, but primary day is on June 25th. That's tomorrow. So here's what I need if you live in New York 16. And even if you don't live in New York 16, you can still volunteer to phone bank, as well as knock on doors. I need you to vote for Jamal Bowman. Do you know someone who lives in New York 16? Tell them to vote for Jamal Bowman. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important. I've talked about Jamal Bowman before, but AIPAC is running more money against him than they have ever run against any congressperson. Why? Because he called for a ceasefire. So they decided that they were going to bring in this ridiculous lackey who is an alleged Democrat to run against him, and that they were going to pour a ton of money, $25 million, in trying to unseat Jamal Bowman. The guy that's running against him, George Latimer, is being funded by Republicans. Not only is this guy basically a Republican who literally green screened himself into the Bronx, but he's openly racist. Literally openly racist. He said to Jamal Bowman, "Oh, black voters skew the results," during a debate. And then he also said, "Oh, well, Jamal Bowman's actually just representing Dearborn, Michigan, if you know what I'm saying." And in case you didn't get that dog whistle, he said that because Dearborn, Michigan has a large Muslim population. And he can just say things like that are just openly Islamophobic and anti-Arab, and nobody says anything. But meanwhile, if you point out that AIPAC is a dark money foreign lobbying group that's trying to buy our elections, if you point that out, guess what? Anti-Semitic! I'm not even kidding. I'm not even exaggerating. After Bowman posted this about his campaign, she gets on here, this shill for state media, and AIPAC was doing it too. They're now trying to use their identity in order to try to shut down criticism of dark money groups. Which, P.S., abso-fucking-lutely not. We've had a serious problem in this country for decades now with dark money groups and corporations, billionaires, foreign governments buying our elections so that our votes don't matter. It is at the very root of the corruption in our government. But now these hacks want to use identity politics as a way to try to shut down criticism of corruption in our government. No, I don't consent. You will not stop people from speaking out about the rot and the bribery in our government by trying to use your identity to try to shut down any conversation or criticism of it. No. And yet Hillary Clinton still endorsed him over Jamal Bowman. Absolute clown. The Democratic establishment are garbage. You shouldn't listen to anything they say ever, because they will always side with big money over the people. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that are like, fuck voting. I don't care about voting. I'm not going to vote for anybody. And it's like, okay, I'm going to tell you why it's important that you vote for Jamal Bowman, even if you don't like him. I know our Congress is trash. I know we don't run our own government. But what message are you sending? Are you allowing them to send if AIPAC wins this race? Because this is not Jamal Bowman versus George Latimer. This is Jamal Bowman versus AIPAC. And they regularly brag about all the people they unseat. AIPAC is not only a foreign lobbying group, so why it's legal is already absurd. They also have a ton of dark money Republican donors. That's a question that I don't see enough people talking about or asking. Why are Democrats and liberals allowing Republicans and dark money right-wing billionaires to decide our elections, our primaries? I hear a lot of people who say that they don't want to vote, that they're tired of AIPAC controlling our elections. Well, if you're tired of it, just sitting there and saying you're tired of it, but not using the tool of voting to make your voice heard, is pretty useless. If you do not like that AIPAC controls our elections and that they pour so much dark money into it and that Republicans are paying for it, then even if you don't like Jamal Bowman, you should vote for him anyway, because what that vote will mean is that you are voting against AIPAC. And I promise you, if they are able and successful in unseating him, not only are they going to go on Twitter and they're going to brag about how they own our Congress, but it will send a chilling message. It'll send a message to other Democrats. Don't ever cross AIPAC. Don't ever acknowledge that the Palestinians are human. Don't ever call for a ceasefire, because if you do, we will pour tens of millions of dollars to take you out. So this is bigger than just Jamal Bowman. This is about sending a message that we don't want foreign lobbying groups controlling our elections. We don't want Republicans meddling in our primaries. And you need to understand the chilling effect that this is going to have on people if they are able to unseat him. AIPAC has already taken out a lot of progressives in the past. Even before October 7th, they had taken out a Jewish man who used to lead a synagogue because he criticized Israel. And they always use identity politics to do it. They frequently target black lawmakers like Donna Edwards, and even when Nina Turner, who is a black woman, ran in Ohio, because Turner was pro-Palestine, they found another black woman to run against her that would shill for AIPAC. And that's a whole nother video that I could do about how AIPAC and the other Israeli lobbies have systematically targeted black people and black lawmakers because they showed solidarity with Palestine. As I always say, voting is not the end-all be-all of anything. And yes, our Congress is incredibly corrupt and there's just tons of money swimming in our swamp. But if you can make a difference, if you can vote to at least keep one of the only Congress members who's actually called for a ceasefire, then why wouldn't you do that? If we really care about the amount of power and influence that AIPAC has in our elections, then we need to vote like we do, because I promise you, they always vote. So if you haven't voted already and you live there, or you know someone who does, tell them to vote tomorrow, June 25th, for Jamal Bowman in New York's 16th district. As people often say, this is all interconnected. Allowing George Latimer to win not only hurts people in the district, it also hurts Palestinians. Don't let AIPAC win.